Hey everyone, so 3 months comes around pretty quickly. It's that time again where I go through my portfolio today, show you the buys and the sells that I've made for the previous 3 months. So this is as of like the last trading day of December 2022 for October, November, December. Now, before I jump in, for those that are new out there who are looking to get started, that first real step you need to take is to open a brokerage account. I use Interactive Brokers, link in the description. The reason I use them is because I think they're one of the safest out there. They have low fees. I don't like Robinhood and some of those other like free trading apps. I worry that something like what happened with FTX is going to happen to something like that. I want a broker that's been around for multiple decades, gone through ups and downs, things like that. So Interactive Brokers is what I recommend, is what I use personally. For those that want to chat more, who are a little bit more experienced maybe, or just want to share some ideas, some investment ideas, and we have a bit of a community developing in my Discord group. Again, link in the description for that. All right, enough about all that. Let's jump into the portfolio and how it looks like as of the start of 2023. All right, so Q4 actually turned out reasonably okay for me. So the change on what happened from Q3, so where it ended, the end of, so that would have been the end of July, August, September. The end of September to the end of December, this is where I put this percentage change on the right-hand side here. So most things have gone up since that period of time. The big downs are like Kelly Partners Group has gone from about $5 down to $4.35. SDI Group's gone down a little. TrueLeave has gone down a little more as well. Redbubble's down a little too. So, but everything else has essentially been better in Q4, which is nice to see. The big movers here, we've got Berkshire Hathaway up 23%. My profit on that is 81%. It's got up to about 100% before, but that's my bigger winner at the moment. That's something I've had that since May 2020. So that's like the bottom of essentially the pandemic. That's when I was buying my Berkshire Hathaway stock. So yeah, that was reasonable, lucky from a timing point of view. What else is doing pretty well? OTC has gone up since I've bought that as well. And I actually think OTC markets, this is a little bit interesting. So out of all the things I hear on my portfolio, OTC markets is probably the only company here that I think is about fair value. Everything else I think is maybe Markel, maybe Berkshire Hathaway, but definitely OTCM. I think they're actually about their fair value. I don't think, and they're only growing at single digits anyway, 5-10% per annum. They've got amazing return on investor capital numbers, but they just don't have much money to plow into growth. So they're only really growing at that 5-10% range. So OTC, I actually think if anything on this list is maybe something I could sell, that's probably getting close to the one, but I don't really have a good reason to sell them at the moment. But I do have my eye on some companies that I'm considering moving some money into, but I'm not quite there yet. Those companies are Trupanion. I'm getting pretty serious about. Tortilla Mexican, I'm not quite there on that one yet. I probably need to have an interview with the management team. CSAM Health, I've done a video on them just recently explaining that investment idea. I'm very close on that one. I actually probably would invest if I had some free cash at the moment. So maybe I'll free something up in the next quarter to buy something like that. Yeah, I think there's some opportunities around at the moment, and I think it's better spent in something like CSAM, where I think the upside is significantly bigger than something like OTCM that I just don't see a huge runway for them to continue growing into. But I could be wrong, so I haven't made a decision on any of that yet. Anyway, let's go back to the list here. So at the bottom, SDI Group, Teqnion and Terravest, they're the things that I bought back in September and August. They're the most recent purchases I made, but that was back in Q3, and they're up a bit, down a bit, not really important because it's been such a short period of time. So yeah, there you go. That's the update. And as you may have already picked up, there is no new buys and no new sells. I've done nothing. I'm really proud of myself for this one. It's the first quarter, I think, that I can remember anyway, the first quarter for many years anyway, where I just sat on my hands and did nothing. For the whole quarter, I didn't make a change, did nothing, no trades. And I'm pretty happy about that. That's been a goal of mine for a while, that I could get to a point where I don't have to do anything. I still think I'm going to have to, like I said, there's ideas that I think are significantly better than some of the ideas that I have here on this list. I hope that in the next year or two that I can get to a point where I really can just sit back and don't touch it, and all the money that I'm making in my personal life can hopefully go into the same stocks and just keep building up positions in those. So we'll see if I can get there, but I'm pretty stoked about the fact that I didn't make any changes at all, did nothing for a whole quarter. So yeah, that's something I'm proud of. Okay, so here on the screen is where I compare my investments to the S&P 500 since I started recording this information back in the start of 2020. So I'm down, it looks like I've tried to do this. It's actually getting a bit complicated because I've been moving money around a little bit. So it says that I think I'm down 5% since 2020. That's what it looks like. And the S&P 500 in that time is actually up 18%. So yeah, I'm not beating the index. I've always thought that if over a 5, maybe 6 year period, if I'm not better than the index, then I probably should just be indexing. So at the moment, not looking as good, but that was as of December, the last day of December, so December 29th or something like that. Just in the last couple of weeks, naspers and prosus have like exploded. So they've come up quite significantly. They're up 5-10% now, and considering that's the biggest part of my portfolio, that's actually made I'm actually up. I'm in the positives now, so I'm catching the S&P 500 pretty quickly. Will be interesting to see how Q1 2023 unfolds, even just 2023 in general unfolds. So I hope that I can beat the index by the end of the year, but we'll have to keep on the hunt for some good stocks that can help me beat the index. Now, regarding how the breakdown of my portfolio looks, like where I've got my money split between all these different companies, on the screen now, as you can see, a pie chart which shows you that naspers and prosus are the biggest parts. I consider that sort of like one company anyway, so they are essentially one company. I know it's two different tickers, but they're essentially one company. So that's my biggest holding, with Alibaba being second there. And the rest are small positions. Essentially, they're just starter positions in a lot of these. I put my big money into naspers, prosus, Alibaba, and Alibaba hasn't got there yet, but naspers and prosus has finally turned positive after all that time. But maybe it goes negative again. I don't really know, but I feel pretty confident about those investments. I have no issues here. And starter positions in those other ones. So things like Teqnion, SDI Group, Terravest. There's a handful of companies there that I really would like to improve my position on and get them a lot bigger. So, and maybe some of the other ones will get smaller, so that's okay too. So Redbubble used to be about a 10% position, and now it's down to 2% because I've been just getting punished in Redbubble. Trueleaf, similar. I think it was a 5% stake, a 5% position when I opened that, and now it's like 1.5% position. So some of them go up, some of them go down. That's the way this thing goes, as you are very familiar with. But very exposed to China at the moment, which I actually don't love. I feel like I'm way overexposed, but that's just how my portfolio is shaping up. I would like to think that I'm going to... Something that I've been thinking of is maybe because I've got such a stake in naspers and prosus, and because it's gone positive now, there's a part of me that's like, look, I probably took on way too much there. I could still have a really good sizable position at 10-15% of my portfolio and use the money that I could sell and free up to put into things like Teqnion, SDI Group, Terravest, companies that I have a lot more conviction on, that I think are going to be, they have more potential to be 100 baggers anyway. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet because I'm still thinking about it. I'd love to know other people's thoughts on that, whether, like, I know naspers and prosus is a good investment. Maybe it doubles from here, maybe it triples from here, but it's not going up 100x. So my money is obviously better in those companies that I think can be 100x, that I think are better companies. So, but you know, I don't know everything. If you would like to give me some advice here, I'd be actually really appreciative. We can talk this out. Again, that's what the Discord group is for. So yeah, sharing and helping each other is part of doing this online, I guess. It's really good to get some feedback. So yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed. Totally open up to everyone giving me criticism as they wish. It doesn't bother me at all. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.